How's it going, everybody? My name is Finn. Welcome to my den, and today we're going to be going over what kind of gun it would take to penetrate Master Chief's armor in real life. Now, I'm not going to lie, the structure of this video might be a little wonky. All I have is my research and facts that I looked up, and I kind of have an order that I want to discuss this in. And just to be clear, we're talking about the Gen 3 armor of the Spartan Mjolnir armor. We're not talking about Halo 1 Combat Evolved Mark 5 armor. There's actually been a lot of major upgrades since way back in 2002, whenever it came out. We're gonna start with what's it gonna take to break his overshield. Now in Halo, Master Chief has a energy shield around his armor that once depleted, that's when you can actually take damage and stuff actually hits your armor. Before that shield is depleted, you are totally fine, and it regenerates like every 10 seconds, I believe. So we're starting with that. And one of the main weapons in the game actually is what I'm using to base my data off of. And it is this bad boy right here, the MA40. If it wasn't a Nerf gun, it would shoot the 7.62 by 5.1. Originally, when I heard 7.62, I was like, oh, so it's shooting like an AK-47. That was just my ignorance. It would actually shoot something much, much bigger. This bad boy shoots some shit that would take down an elephant for sure. Now, with that being said, and we figured out what round it is, I had to figure out, okay, what does one of those bullets do to Master Chief's shields? And in the game, the MA40 takes 12 rounds to penetrate Master Chief's energy shield. Not his armor, just his energy shield. So I looked up what that would mean. Once we broke the shields, that required 30,708 foot-pounds to break the shield. Let's go. So, is there any gun that a man can hold to shoot a shield at 30,708 foot-pounds and break the shield? To my knowledge, no. The 50 BMG with special black tip rounds, which is a special round that helps with penetration to get through armored vehicles. Don't make the dumb jokes, I know you're thinking it. That hits about 15,000 foot-pounds, like that humongous, one of the largest calibers we have to offer, with the best type of rounds to penetrate, only generates 15,000 foot-pounds from a 50 BMG. And if you're not into guns, you don't really understand why that's insane, but it would take 2 rounds from that sniper rifle just to maybe break the shield, because it's 15,000 highballing it, and Master Chief's shields is 30,708 foot-pounds to penetrate the shield. Not the titanium, but just to get through the shield. So 2 rounds from one of the biggest calibers that we have on Earth as of right now, might not even get through the energy shield. It would take 3 rounds to fully break, and then you might actually be able to get through to the titanium, and we're gonna talk about the titanium later. So that's the kinetic rounds out of the way. So we know it would take 12 shots of 7.62 by 5.1 to penetrate his shield, and then once the shield is down, that's when we can talk about the titanium. But before we get to the titanium, there's other guns that is in Halo that isn't just kinetic. You know, there's plasma weapons, energy, stuff like that. I'm not getting to energy because we don't really have any guns or any type of weaponry that's lethal that would even matter, like a taser, but I promise you that's not doing anything to the Chief. But for plasma and heat weapons, that is something we can discuss. So active plasma is about 3,000 degrees Celsius. And if you don't know what that is 5,432 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, it takes about 7 shots from the active plasma, from the plasma pistol, to break Master Chief's shields, which is a lot less than the kinetic weapons. It's 5 shots less. We don't really have a gun or any kind of weapon that shoots something that's 3,000 degrees Celsius. We do have a flamethrower, and that gets to about 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's 2,000 degrees less, 2,000 degrees Fahrenheit less, but you're holding a fiery beam on him for a lot longer, because once that active plasma hits your shield, it's fizzling out. So it might be on you for half a second at most before it's all gone. So when you're keeping that in mind, now I'm not a scientist, I did not know how to delegate this data, but there is a flamethrower in Halo, the first through third, so it wouldn't be an accurate representation for the new Gen 3 armor. I don't really have data for that. However, I would say it's safe to say that if you held a flamethrower on Master Chief, even with his current gen armor, it's 2,000 degrees less, but you're holding it for a much, much longer time. If you can survive in that close range with him, I think you'd be able to break it within 6 to 10 seconds. I think that would drop his shield enough if you're having that constant beam on him. Now that might be headcanon, I absolutely agree with that, but if you really think about it, those 7 quick shots of half a second are fizzling your shield down that fast. I know for a fact 3,000 degrees is going to drain the shield. I can't say for certain how long, but I promise you it will be a play if you're trying to use that. Okay, let's say the shield is down, you hit him 12 times with the 7.62x5.1, or maybe you somehow trapped him and are flaming him on with a flamethrower and the shields are down. I mean, I guess for the flamethrower, it doesn't really matter. Once the shield's down, you can just continue that constant beam on him and burn him alive. So we'll just ignore the heat weapons for this section. But let's say you broke the shields with kinetic weaponry and you're wondering, okay, what's it gonna take to break through his titanium armor, which he has about ½ an inch of titanium throughout all the parts that you see armor covering. So you could ignore it for these black segments, but the green parts of his armor is at least ½ an inch of titanium thick. So what's it gonna take to penetrate that? Well, luckily for us, Demolition Ranch actually made a video where he shoots titanium with a variety of different calibers. And I will say, you're gonna wanna ditch any like slow velocity bullet that you might have, because it's just not gonna work. He tried out a bunch of different rounds, and the only thing that came close to penetrating it after you hit it a few times was the 5.56 green tip, which is what like a AR would shoot, or like maybe an M16, and that got about 3 centimeters in. So if you hit the exact same spot on Master Chief's armor 3 times in a row, then congratulations, you would have penetrated his suit and you would have actually made contact with his body. Now, that being said, if you still have that 50 BMG laying around that you had to shoot him twice just to break the shield, maybe, then that will go probably straight through him and maybe get caught in the back portion of his armor, because the black tip 15,000 foot pressure shot from that 50 BMG went almost a full inch into that titanium block. Yeah, so that's where we're at. Obviously, this video was to just see what could penetrate Master Chief's armor with our current day combat equipment and weaponry. So one thing we're ignoring is that Master Chief can actually run to about 20 miles an hour with minutes without breaking a sweat. So good luck trying to hit him 3 times in the same position if you're using like a 5.56 round to penetrate his titanium armor after the shield's down. And if you do manage to injure him, he has this biofoam that automatically injects into any wound that you have to clean any infection and fill the wound so you don't bleed out. So even if you do break the armor, there is backup measurements to try to keep this guy alive for as long as possible. So if he were to be after you, good luck trying to have a flamethrower on him in that short range for that long of a time when he can run that fast. On top of that, hitting any shot like a 50 BMG 2 times before breaking the shield to hit him a 3rd time when he can move at that speed, also good luck. You're like, long story short, you would have to have like a full squad fully aimed at him in an open field to maybe kill this guy. But why would you want to? You know, he's the shield of humanity. But yeah, that's all I really have for you today. I had a really fun time doing some research for this video, and I used some lore from the books, and I used some in-game actual measurements, like when I used the MA40 to figure out how many shots from it would actually take to break the shield like it does in Halo Infinite. But besides that, my name is Finn, and welcome to my den, and you're welcome back anytime. I had a really fun time making this video. I'm looking forward to doing more. If you have any recommendations on Halo content or another video game that you'd like to see what would happen in real life, I would love to do that for you. But in the meantime, have a great day. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you around next time. Peace.